What's up, everyone? All right, so here we are, back in the saddle. You know, I was out on Friday, out last Wednesday, so I missed a couple days last week. The green streak continued. I had actually only 2 days of trading last week. Market was closed Monday. I was out sick Wednesday. Friday, I was out sick. So only 2 days of trading, made some money, whatever. Made $1,300 on Tuesday, $2,600 on Thursday, and now today, first red day of the month, down 2,500 bucks. You know what? Today I just said, Ross, follow your rules. I've got 3 rules. $1,000 max loss per trade, $2,000 max loss per day, 3 losers in a row, you're done, walk away. I hit the $2,000 daily max loss, and I actually think I lost more than $2,000 on a single trade. I had a couple of trades, or more than $1,000. I had a couple trades that were just sloppy, and I'm a little disappointed with that, but this is the point where I'm at the fork in the road and I can make 2 choices. Choice 1 is refuse to walk away red, keep trading. There's stuff moving. Surely I can buy something, maybe buy 10,000 shares of something, 10,000 shares of something else. By the end of the day, I can make back $2,500, right? Well, you know, what happens if you lose another $2,500? Then you're down $5,000. And then you're at another fork in the road. Do you keep trading or do you walk away? And I mean, I've seen people, and I've done it myself, just keep trading and trading and trading as the loss gets bigger and bigger and bigger. At a certain point, you have to walk away. And I always look back on those days and I think, what would have been a better place to walk away? You know, when I was maybe went from green to red, or maybe when I went from, you know, red a little bit to red a lot. You know, there's a certain point where you got to say that's a better place to walk away than just to let it go crazy. So for me, I've sort of set that as $2,000. If I'm down more than $2,000 on the day, I walk away. Today, you know, I went up $1,800, went down $500, went down $1,000, got back up to down only $400, and then boom, down $2,500. So you know what? Just not the easiest day for me. That's okay. I'll live to trade another day. We've only got 3 days left in the month. My 100K goal is slipping away. I'm now going to be about $23,000 off that level. But still, after today, up 77,000 on the month, 77,500. It's been an amazing month. I'll try to finish strong these next 3 days, get myself back up to 80, 85, maybe 90, who knows. And then go into March feeling good, carrying that momentum. All right, as usual, any questions, any comments, leave them below. Give me a shout out of what you traded today, and I'll see you guys first thing tomorrow morning, live streaming 9/9/15 for our pre-market analysis. All right, see you guys then. All right, everyone, so we're going to do midday market recap here for today. Today is my first red day of February, down $2,500. It's the, let's see, 14th day, trading day of the month, I believe, for me. So it's been a really nice run here. I usually allocate myself 1 red day each week. That would be, you know, pretty normal. A good month, I might have 4 red days. Totally normal, totally okay. Being ahead of that this month is awesome. You know, having only 1 red day is terrific. You know, I had set myself a pretty aggressive goal for the month once I had such a great start in the first 2 weeks. And last week, you know, I only had 2 days of trading. The market was closed 1 day. I had 2 sick days, you know, so that was bad timing. And then this week, having a red day is obviously not helpful. In order to have a 100K month, I really can't have any red days, and I need to have some really big home run days, and I didn't have any home runs last week. I had a couple small winners, made, I don't know, $3,000, $4,000, but that wasn't enough. So, you know, a little bit disappointing here to have my first red day in a while, but one of the things that I really notice is that red days are good for me. If I don't have red days, I start to get a little complacent, I start to get sloppy, and then on a day where I potentially could go red, I can do things that I really shouldn't do, like be super, super aggressive, try to dig myself out of the hole. You know, when I've gone for a really long time without a red day, I kind of forget what I'm supposed to do when I'm having a red day, which is most importantly, follow the rules. Do not overtrade, know when to walk away. And so I have, you know, my 3 basic rules that I use pretty much every day when I'm trading. $1,000 max loss, $2,000 daily max loss, $1,000 max loss per trade, $2,000 daily max loss, and 3 losses in a row, you're done. Now, the $1,000 max loss per trade, I'm not as strict on that just because right now I'm trading with such big size. It's easy for me to take a $1,500 or a $2,000 loss and still end up having a great day. So that one I'm not as much of a stickler on, but the daily $2,000 max loss, I'm pretty, pretty tight on, because for me, if I keep trading down $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, things just start to get pretty crazy. I start to get too aggressive. So as you can see from the P&L today, 50% accuracy, green on 3 names, red on 3 names, and one loser really stands out. All right, so let's see. This morning started pretty much the same as every other morning with our gap scanner. We didn't have the greatest looking gap scan this morning. We had a couple of higher float stocks up here, higher price stocks up here. TTNP already really crowded, too expensive, float was too high. CIFS up 35% this morning at $1.73. As of right now, it's at 268, up 100%. So this was a big mover, but it wasn't really as clean as I thought it would be. It just kind of right out of the gates in the first 15 minutes was choppy. And that for me made me a little uncomfortable. I did take a trade on it for a break of the pre-market highs right here. This was a gap and go setup, and it was a good setup. So I jumped in for the break of the pre-market highs. Let's see, let me just go up to the top here. So in at 88 and sold at 94 and 97. So a quick $400 trade right out of the gates on this one, or maybe $300. No, this thing is $400. So a little scalp there, but it sells off. It then bounces back, but I was like, I don't know. I'm not sure if I want to get back into this. It's a little cheap. And then it makes this big move here, and I'm like, okay, wow, this thing is strong. So I got back into it right here on this pullback. I even missed this pullback, but I got in on this one and made another $400 right through here from 282 up to 3. So, I did okay on it, but I don't know. You can see the 5-minute worked, but it was a little choppy. Some false breakouts up to 285, back down to 266, back up, back down, back up, finally breaking through. So it was sort of like, this starting, stopping, not super easy on the 1 minute, which is the time frame that I kind of prefer for quick trades, but the 5-minute did end up holding out here. This 5-minute candle right here, this was at 10:45. It actually made a new low, broke the low of the previous candle, which is an exit indicator, and then rips up here to 320. So overall, just kind of a tough one, but I did make $868 on it, so that's good. Green is good. Next one on the scan, ATEC, a little cheaper, floats a little higher. I left that one alone. Too expensive, floats too high, not enough volume, floats too high. This one was a little too cheap, I just ignored it. Works, WORX was on the scans, up 14%. I looked at it, but it didn't end up continuing as the bell rang, so nothing there. And then we had HYRE on the scans as well. I don't see where it is right now, but in any case, it was on there as a gapper, continuation from the previous day here, consolidation, opening a little higher. So on this one, I kind of hesitated right out of the gates. I think missing a couple days last week, I felt just a little rusty, and so I was like, I'll just give this a second. This broke the pre-market high of 33 and went straight to 58. Boom. A lot of you guys hit that. Nice gap and go trade right on this one. I didn't take that, but I got in for the first 1 minute candle to make a new high after the pullback, which was right here. So I got in here and then sold as it came up here to 60. So that worked, and I made, $900, or no, oh, sorry, I only made $265 on that. And then, of course, it dropped coming back down. So this really wasn't the best trade. It was kind of disappointing that it rejected that hard. And so that was kind of the first, well, CIFS was a bit of a rejection out of the gates, and then HYRU was the second one. So now I've got 2 rejections out of the gates, you know, which is not great. PLAG, I was not watching, but it suddenly pops up and gets halted right here. While this is halted, GLG hits our high of day momentum scanners, which are right here. Where was this? I'm gonna go back a little further. It hits the scanner right here. I jumped into it. It gets halted and it hits a high of, well, $2. It resumes and taps 215 and then rolls over and sells off. I managed to make $900 on it, but this was now the third false breakout. PLAG resumes from the halt and ends up being a really good one. I jump into it right here as it's squeezing up, and I got in at 4 and sold half up at like 425, and then I added back at 425. So when I got in here, I got in with, I think, 9,000 shares and sold here for $1,800 of profit, up 1,800 bucks. I then add back 9,000 right here at 25. It goes up to 38 and is halted, and I'm holding it through the halt. And I'm like, this looks great. I've got 9,000 shares, 425. My target is 450. That could be another, you know, $2,000, $3,000. It resumes from the halt and drops right back to 401, and then drops here back to 375, and I'm down, you know, $4,000. And now that's actually not true. I was down about 50 cents. I sold some of it immediately. I sold half of it immediately. So through this, I was down, I think, $2,000. And it comes back up a little bit. I try to sell, you know, I'm hoping maybe first candle to make a new high will give us resolution back up. That doesn't happen. Max losses at the bottom of the pullback, and I end up having to stop out as it comes back down. So I went from being up $2,000 on this, or $1,800, to down about, I don't know, $1,800 on this one, which was really kind of a bigger loss than I anticipated and was disappointing for sure. It then, as you can see, curls back up, and so I got back in it as it broke the VWAP. Back in just a little over $4. It comes up to 425, doji candlestick, 3 in a row, doji candlestick, doji candlestick. It didn't hold that level, and then it came right back down, and right here I lost another almost $2,000. So this one just got me twice, one winner and then 2 big losers on it, and so that's frustrating. I really thought it had more potential. It is a former runner, as you can see here. History of making big moves, breaking over the VWAP, or breaking over the 200 moving average, but I was just wrong that it was going to be a big mover, and I should have just gotten in, gotten out, gotten in, gotten out. Quick trades, and those both could have been winning trades, but I held them too long and gave back on my profit. So disappointing there, but you know, it is what it is. So, and then GSUM, this one was a 5-minute setup, big rejection here, got in for the first 5-minute candle to make a new high, pops up, drops down, stops me out, $700 loss. TMSR squeezes up, hits the scanners, gets halted, opens lower, stopped out of that one. So overall, this was just not a very good day. False breakouts on every stock that I traded, not seeing good follow through. So, you know, this is a good time to step back and say, you know what, I'm not feeling it, don't want to push it. It's better to just walk away today than to keep trading. And, you know, if I come back at the end of the day or tomorrow and see that CIFS goes to $6 without me or whatever, you know, as annoying as that would be, I would just say to myself, you know what, you hit your max loss, you got to follow the rules and walk away, because the days where you keep trading past max loss, you start getting more and more emotionally fueled with every trade you take, and that's a recipe for disaster. So, you know, and I've known so many traders who have traded for months or even for years and then blow up their account. And, you know, you'll see it on Twitter, traders who post, you know, $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 losing days, $100,000 losing days. I mean, it's a real thing that can happen if you just get tunnel vision and you just keep, you know, punching those keys. So I always have to be mindful of that, that, you know, I'm at risk of that happening. And so I have to always try to keep that discipline in the back of my mind that, you know, if I'm having a day like this, I won't start maxing out my buying power on every trade. You know how many, I've got $100,000 in this account. I could start taking 25, 30,000 shares of some of these stocks, just trying to swing for the fences. Sure, with 30,000 shares, I could make back $2,500, but I could also lose 15 or 20 or even 30. You know, I mean, these are volatile stocks. So, you know, it's just something you have to be aware of. You always have to be really diligent, not let yourself, you know, start to build those bad habits. And that's the one thing for me that is the bad thing about having 13 consecutive green days is you don't get a lot of practice being red on the day and trading out of it, or walking away. Either way you do it. I think I had a couple of red days in this stretch. I know I had at least two where I went red and was able to get out of it, and that's fine. You know, if I don't hit my max loss and I can get out of it, then that's fine. But yeah, I mean, today's one of those days where I felt myself kind of feeling like, man, you know what? Just keep trading, or, you know, there's a seller there on the level 2. I'll buy those shares. You know, 10,000 share seller, I'll just buy those 10,000 shares. And, you know, you start thinking, oh, this is going to work. And you have such a bias, you get so stubborn, you refuse to give up, and it can get really bad. So I'm glad that I was able to step back today and, you know, live to trade another day. And I obviously have max losses set on my account. I think my max loss on this account, I was actually going to say I think it might be $2,000. Let me just check this one real quick. No, it looks like it's not. I'll have to call and figure out what it is. I have it might be a $5,000 max loss. I do have a max loss on this account where if I try to take a trade, it'll get rejected. So anyways, yeah, so that's about it for me today. You know, red day recap. Hopefully, you know, you guys find these valuable and, you know, helps you kind of understand where things went wrong. You know, today would be a decent day if it weren't for these two big losses on PLAG. But, you know, I was kind of aggressive. I was aggressive on GLG. I was aggressive on TMSR. I was aggressive on PLAG. And, you know, we just were not seeing the momentum today. Things were moving, but then coming right back down. So I think when I see a stock go from 350 to 450, I'm like, wow, this is parabolic. This is when stocks start to go 450, 550, 650. But recently, we've been seeing stocks go up from $3 to $4 to $5 and then give it all back. And I feel like in the past, we saw more of those types of stocks attract more attention from other traders and start to really open up and go parabolic, and that just didn't happen today. So anyways, that's it for me. I'll be back at it first thing tomorrow. Hopefully we have some good opportunities on the scanner. You know, the goal tomorrow is just to be green, not to make a ton of money. It's not about making back all the loss. But the reason I have the $2,500 or the $2,000 max loss is because my average daily gain last year was about $2,300 or $2,400. So I don't really ever want to give back more than I would make on an average day. And so, you know, I might make it back tomorrow. I might not if it's a slow day. But this isn't really even a hole. This is just like a small red day. I'll be back at it, you know, and back at all-time highs before you know it. All right, so that's it for me. I'll see you guys first thing tomorrow morning. If you keep trading this afternoon, make sure you manage your risk and trade smart. All right, see you guys in the morning. If you're still watching, you must have really enjoyed that video. So why not subscribe and get email alerts anytime I upload new content? Remember, when you subscribe, you become a member of the Warrior Trading family.